Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. If you have never had any spiritual encounter in your life, it is easy to just think that maybe these are just stories. But once you have a spiritual encounter, it will change you for the rest of your life, because you will know that you saw something that does not belong in this world. There is a message that our dear sister, one of our listeners, she said that she's going to send me a story. She said that she saw, I think, her mother's younger sister. She suddenly appeared in her spare bedroom and she was naked. I can't wait for her to complete that story. But there is a message that I want to share with you like now. So this message was sent to me by our dear brother. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I want to confess that I have finished up like my entire generation. I was given this other walking stick, but this walking stick, to someone who does not have their spiritual eyes opened up, they will think that it is just a normal walking stick. You know, those walking sticks that they use, like the people who go to the white garment churches. That is the type of a walking stick that I have, but mine, it is a little bit shorter. But when you look at this walking stick, it has the shape of a snake. For it is a snake, it transforms itself and it will become a snake when it is time for me to sacrifice. When one of my relatives is about to lose their life, when this snake is hungry, then it will transform itself, then it will start to bother me, even bite me when it wants blood, for it will be hungry. So if I can't perform a ritual, because each and every time when I have to perform this ritual, I have to drive back or fly back to Zim. So if it happens that there are some things that I still need to do, or when I'll be waiting for the days that I would have booked the flights to arrive, then this snake, what it will do is that it will start to bite me, and it is not a nice thing being bitten by a snake, because I will get sick, like a cobra. It has poison, but the painful part is that when it bites me, I do not die. I cannot die, but I'll just get sick. I'll have all of those symptoms that you will have when you have been bitten by a snake. So you can just imagine the pain that I go through each and every time when I am about to perform a ritual. So I make sure that when I start to notice that my walking stick has gone missing, then I will know that the time is arrived for me to rush back home so that I can do a sacrifice. Like in the past, I used to ignore this snake. Whenever it will tell me that it wants blood, it wants the blood of my sister, I have to sacrifice my sister. Then I'll think about it, because I'll be in pain knowing that I am sacrificing my relatives one by one. So who is going to enjoy this money? Because as for now, there are people that do enjoy my money. A lot of young women from South Africa that I give all this money, but it also comes at a price. But the love that they give me, it is not pure love, for it is the love of money that attracts them to me, and they do not know that the things that give me money, it is this walking stick that transforms itself to become a snake. So most of the times when I am not with my wife, who is from Namibia, who does not know about the rituals that I do, I feel very lonely, and she loves, and most of the times she spend most of her times in her country in Namibia, and I find myself being alone here in South Africa with these several women that are very easy to find here in South Africa for the love of money. A lot of young women from this country, they are willing to do anything with you, no matter what you request them to do for you. As long as you have a deep pocket, they will just do some of the strange stuff that you can just imagine, some of the stuff that You won't even believe that when you tell a woman that you want her to do this for you, then she will end up doing it for you. Like, for example, when I get some of these slay queens, depending on the situation, I can be told by these voices that I have to make that woman to go into the loo, and then I will follow. Then I will follow that woman into the bathroom, then I will poo. Then after pooing, then I'll tell her to eat my poo. I don't know why I do this, but there are voices that I hear. I hear these voices that tell me to mistreat these women that I give this money. So I think that this is the way that they pay back my snake. It does not like me to just hand out money just like that. So this is the way that they have to sacrifice also by doing all of these weird things that the voices in my head will tell me to make these young women to do. Let me go back in the past before I was this rich. I grew up and I had a lot of bitterness because my father, he had 2 wives, and my father, he had a very big piece of land. It was like a plot. So that was where we were staying. And at that plot, my father had his 2 wives. So I don't know what exactly happened, but my mother, she passed away when I was in grade 5. And when my mother was buried, after her relatives had totally refused to go with me so that they can take care of me, they said that my father had refused to pay some of the bride price that he was supposed to finish up off before my mother had been buried. So for that, they refused. They told my father that you are going to make a plan and you're going to take care of this child. So I was left behind and things were really bad. Like, my father's second wife, she was someone that was very bad. She was a bad person and an evil woman. What she will do is that when she will see that it is about to rain, she will tell me that I have to go into the fields so that I can start to work in the fields. I still remember that there was this other day when I was 19, when my friend said, it is time for us to find a job. This thing that we are doing here, we are going to get struck by lightning, because as we were busy working in the fields, it was raining very hard, and my father's second wife had said that if you return back home before you would have completed your task, to know that tonight you are not going to eat anything. So we kept on working and working until the lightning struck this other tree, and I saw that tree, when it was hit by lightning, it was split into 2. Me and my friend, we then ran and we returned back to my father's compound. We told my father's wife that this is what had happened, but she started beating me. So on that night, I then went and I slept with my friend at his house. And the next morning, my friend then said, let us make a plan. Please, let us make a plan so that we can just get out of here. We then made a plan after I had stolen some of my father's equipment. Then we sold some of my father's equipment, including 2 goats. Then when we had gotten the money, we went into town. We tried to hustle, but I then saw that hustling, I didn't have the hustling skills. We then came to South Africa, and we came here. I was someone who was still very innocent, because me and my friends, we used to go to this other Pentecostal church that is also from Zim. So whilst we were in that church, my friend, when he gave his own testimony, he was also offered a job by one of the church elders. But as for me, it seemed as if everyone was just hating on me. So I started to hate God and to hate everyone that goes to church. And I said, let me just try something else. I then started to speak with this other man who is from Western Africa. I spoke with that man about a lot of stuff since I was working in his restaurant. He said that these things of rituals, he didn't like them because he believed in working very hard. But the moment that he told me that he knew that there were people who were from his country who were using some of the rituals, he told me a lot of stuff. And when he told me that he knew people who were doing these rituals, I said, please show me these people. Please take me to these people. For a very long time, I think for about 6 months, he totally refused to show me the guy whom he said that was using these rituals to transport some of his stuff. So the day came when this man came to that restaurant where I was working. He just called me and he said, that is the man, but he just whispered into my ear. And then I approached that man and I said, sir, I know that you can help me. And he said, help you with what? You know, those guys from West Africa, they are very loud. And when they speak with you, there is this scariness that they bring out. So this guy, he screamed at me and he said, help you with what? Then my brother, I said, I know that you can help me. I am tired of being poor. I am tired of working for this, your brother. He said, if you are willing to do it, then I am willing to help you. This man then said that he was going to come and collect me, but he didn't promise me a lot of stuff. He said, one day I am going to come and collect you. When I had almost forgotten, my brother, that was when this man just came. And when he came, he was wearing this black garment, and there was something to that black garment that he was wearing, and he was holding a walking staff as well. He then said, follow me to the car. He didn't even speak with that man that I was working for, the man from the same country as he was from. And then we went to the car, and when we got into the car, I saw that there were two South African women that seemed to be very sad. Then we went to this other house, a very big house, my brother. These women, they would do anything for money. These girls, after they had gotten out of the car, whilst we were waiting for that guy to come from Whilst we were waiting for that guy to come back, these girls, they had been given 13,000 rands each. And when they were given this money, I thought that maybe they are your high-end prostitutes. This man, when he had gone to his bedroom, he came back holding this other god. But there was something about this wooden idol, for it had a very large manhood. It was made out of wood. And then the man told those girls to strip themselves naked, and they were laid on the carpet. And he sprinkled something on the private parts, which I could not understand what type of a herb it was. After he had sprinkled the herbs on the girls' private parts, he then started to use this idol as if this was like a sex toy. He did this for about 2 times. Then that thing, it came to life, my brother. I was shocked. I nearly fell off from the couch where I was sitting, because I was sitting on the edge of the couch. When I saw this wooden idol coming to life, I nearly fell off, because I had never expected to see something like that. Those girls, my brother, they started to make love to that wooden idol until they passed out. The way that this wooden idol was pumping these girls, making love to these 2 girls, I had never seen such a thing. These girls, they ended up vomiting because of the way that they were being pumped into their private parts by this wooden idol. After they had woken up, they were made to wash themselves with these other herbs again. Then they were told to go with the money that they had been given. This is what these young women will do. The man then told me that he was going to give me a walking stick that will regularly come alive. And whenever this snake would have came alive, I am supposed to give it one of my relatives so that it can feast upon my relative. Then it will drink the blood of my relative. If I fail to do so, then this snake will start to bite me until it will start to suck my blood. And I said, this I can do. And by the time that I started to make money, that was when I met the woman that I got married to, who is from Namibia. My brother, I was then told that I was supposed to return back to Zim. And when I went to Zim, I was told that I had to go on my mother's grave. And on my mother's grave, that was where I was supposed to place this walking stick. So I did. I placed that walking stick on top of my mother's grave. And to my surprise, I saw my mother's remains. A skeleton was suddenly brought on top of the grave. And then I was told that I had to remove, where the woman's private part is. on the pelvic area. I was told that I had to remove the bones using this hammer that had been given to me. So I started hitting my mother's skeleton on the pelvic area. Then I took the bones. I was told that in each and every month, I have to select 2 days where I'll be fasting. And when I am fasting, I then take that container that will be having the water that I would have collected from the spring, and then I will drink that water when I am fasting. Drink this water that is mixed with my mother's bones. These are just some of the rituals that I did, and I know that there are people out there who will call me someone who is evil, but I had a very difficult upbringing. If I would tell you about my life story, it might even go on for days. A movie can be written about my life, and I ended up with a lot of bitterness towards my father and towards my father's second wife because of the things that she would regularly do to me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother. I hope that if you are a slay queen, if you have never met a ritualist, maybe this is a sign for you to stop chasing after these rich guys. Indeed, they will give you money, but the money comes at a price, just like what our brother said. He has to give these women the money, but they have to give him something in return, like sometimes forcing them to eat the poor, then giving them money on top of that. Just imagine those 2 young women. They are taken from the place where they stay, in the location where they stay. They are taken to that guy's house. Then they are made to make love to an idol until they vomit. Then they will be given 13K. Strange things do happen in this world.